All right, can everybody hear me clearly? Are we good? Are we going?
Good, let's go. Tingle and go.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Here as I am overlooking the sandy beaches here in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Lloyd, thank you very much for getting up there and getting this thing rolling.
Oh, absolutely, sir. This is part of the job. I'm glad, I didn't know you were such a vacation guy when we started this thing, but happy to oblige. It wouldn't be Tingle and Co without Tingle.
Yeah, right. I mean,
how do we know you're actually overlooking the beach?
It could be a green screen.
I guess, should I do this?
Yeah.
There we go.
Look at that. Shark!
Oh my God, it's so big.
Oh,
Got
wow.
2 children.
Oh, wow. It's nursing.
That's news.
Good morning. Appreciate you guys getting in here this morning. Like I said, Lloyd and Jonathan, thank you for holding it down back home. But yeah, no, I mean, the vacations, the Bahamas one was a surprise. I didn't think I was going to be going on that one. This one has been planned for a while. And it's just, it kind of all lined up kind of in the same month span between the Bahamas trip and then we do Omaha and then down here. As upset as y'all are, my mom is upset because she's got to keep watching the dog.
Oh, I bet.
And but it'll be okay. It'll buffer. But appreciate everybody joining us this morning. And then appreciate everybody tuning in yesterday. Seth Dargan's interview, both live on the show and the clip after, put out on the YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Seth was awesome. He shot me a text after and was like, dude, I enjoyed being in there so much. Thank y'all for having me. I was like, dude, you crushed it. I mean, it was an awesome interview. And I'm excited to see him in the purple and gold.
Oh, yeah, it instantly becomes one of those that, like, I don't know, just some people say you're not supposed to have favorites, but then it becomes like, well, I really want him to do well because he's a genuine dude and, like, how much he loves LSU.
Yeah, I'm just certain he's hitting 32 home runs.
Just set the record.
For sure of it.
But, like, it's guys like that where you're like, oh, I guess where you're not supposed to be biased or whatever. It's like, no, I want to see Dargan go out and crush.
Right. I mean, when he was talking and he's talking about, his journey at LSU and the decision to join LSU, this, that, and the other, I was like, he sounds like he's saying everything I would say if it was me. When you hit the transfer portal, what was your mindset? He was like, well, it was kind of LSU or I'm going to work.
Yeah. He bet on himself.
Which is awesome. Right? And it's really cool to see it come to fruition. Shout out to Seth, wishing him the best as he gets moved in and moves down to back down to Baton Rouge. He gets ready for baseball with LSU. But speaking of LSU baseball, they land a commitment yesterday from left-handed pitcher Santiago Garcia, who was playing at the University of Oregon. He was a Duck, and now he is a Tiger. I did see a really cool quote from him. I think Hunt Palmer put it out. Garcia was talking about how he was at a JUCO before. He was like, well, it was just crazy playing at a JUCO in front of, 24 people to where I'm at now in Oregon. And the tweet was like, buddy, you have no idea what you're about to get into.
Yeah, if you thought Oregon, I mean, I'm sure there wasn't, I mean, they were good, and you saw LSU has been there before, and Jay's first year, they went up to Oregon, Dylan Cruz gives them or is that Paul's last year or Jay's first year?
That was Paul's last year.
Paul's last year, yeah, and you see Dylan Cruz give him the bye-bye, and now we're, hello, as we get an former Oregon Duck to come to the Tigers. And
but yes, Santiago Garcia, a third left-handed pitcher in this recruiting, this transfer portal class. So obviously a bit of a theme, a strategy, if you will, that they've had. He's another lefty with good pitch ability. He's pitched in 24 games with 4.2 ERA, 40 strikeouts in 30 innings, and he had 4 saves last season. So the ERA a little bit high, but I think what you've seen with Nate Yeskie and his ability to develop, what you're doing when you're recruiting pitchers is you're getting guys that you see the signs of this could be really good, and then you bring them in and you allow Nate Yeskie and the rest of that coaching staff to kind of mold them. And they need lefties. Last season they really only had one lefty they trusted to extend into baseball games, which was Cooper Williams, who will obviously be back. But outside of him, you had DJ Primo, who was a matchup guy, and then Connor Ware, who they didn't really trust to go in a game. So you needed to add to that part of your bullpen because you were very righty heavy outside of, Cooper Williams and then Kate Anderson. Obviously Anderson will be gone. And Cooper Williams, I would assume his role will become huge next season. So you've seen Jay and the rest of the staff go out there and add some lefties with really good stuff. And Garcia, the one thing I really like is he's already got a relationship on the team, as he is from Las Cruces, New Mexico. And so he knows one Monster Milam very well. I believe they played together when they were younger. So obviously a bit of a theme there, but he's got a connection to the team already, which will be awesome. Because the one thing we've talked about that makes the LSU baseball teams that are successful is the ability to bond and have that relationship. And if he's already coming in with the tie to Milam, that's a step in the right direction.
Right, and I believe they played high school baseball together. So Jay, who is adamant about his recruiting of Stephen Milam, where I was watching him since he was 14 years old. And so I'd imagine he saw him play a little bit of high school baseball, and to have that relationship already on, somebody that kind of knows what he's getting into, right? Like, you can talk to Stephen Milam and go, this is what it's like, this is what you have to prepare to do, this is how you're going to get coached. Like Yetsky, he can tell you everything that you need to know. He can actually help recruit in a way of being like, yeah, dude, if you have the offer to come here and you have the opportunity, there's no better place to be. So when it comes to those factors, like you start to get guys that already have relationships. You see the way Dardar thinks about LSU. Like you're starting to see how Jay Johnson's LSU and the brand are coming together and making it like it's become a hard place to say no to. As you've seen LSU do this before, as he's dabbled in the portal ever since he's been here. You've had some hits, had some misses, but far more hits than misses. And now it's become, at least from a pitching aspect, like you said, let Yetsky get his hands on you, and then you'll be able to see what you can do to be taken to the next level, because it's not a power arm, it's not a big body, it's not some of the guys that you saw last year that you're losing. Like it's not Chase Shorts. Like this is a left-handed pitchability guy that's 6 foot, 180 pounds. Like it's not going to blow you away with the fastball. It's lower 90s. Has that big breaking ball that you've seen on the highlights of. And so obviously has the ability to mix pitches. And then with Yetsky involved, you might learn another pitch. That's what he's been doing. That's how he's got Kate Anderson to be the number 1 overall pick, is they got in the lab and, hey, you need to add this. And he did it relatively quickly as he goes from a midweek starter, maybe back of Sunday rotation, to Friday night number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, I mean, that's my favorite thing about this staff is when they recruit, I think they look at these players as like clay to mold and turn them and develop them into like players. Like I was thinking about Jay went out there and got Chris Stanfield, whose hitting numbers were not anything impressive at Auburn. Like when he came in, when you saw the announcement that he committed, it wasn't like, oh, LSU got this reliable bat out of Chris Stanfield. No, you were expecting him to be a defensive guy because he's got the speed and he's so great in the outfield. But then Jay got him here, developed him, and he's hitting 320 in SEC play and has big hit after big hit down the third base line.
Yeah, lived over there
every single game. It's just my favorite thing is I know when they go out and get these guys, they're developing them. It's not like they need to go get guys that are already that guy and they need to go out there and go to Arkansas, go to these other bigger schools and take, recruit players from there because they need made guys. No, they just need to see some characteristics personally. They need to see a few things athletically, and then they'll say, okay, we can mold that into a player. And there's no way this staff does not have your trust to go out there and build players into a pretty impressive team.
Yeah, Stanfield going from a 276 hitter to a nearly batting 298, nearly 300. But hand up, I didn't think that he was going to come in here and be your everyday center fielder. I thought it was going to be a platoon situation that you kind of saw in right, whether it be, I didn't know Curiel was going to be every day. I knew he was going to get the opportunity, but he just never relinquished left field. It became, okay, this outfield shaking itself out, And then Stanfield never gave up center. You thought, looking at the team and how it was built, it's like maybe it'll be Stanfield that leads off and plays center, and then you have Jake Brown, Ashton Larson, Ethan Fry, and it was just the way that it shook out. It's like you got opportunities, and then two guys just never gave them up. Stanfield was just like, no, I'm your everyday guy, and then he became, with Curiel's success, he became like a bat ninth, and that helped him, I'm sure, just be at the end of the lineup and be somebody you kind of had to pitch to. Like the way it was constructed was conducive for everyone's success, and that's another part of it. You get put in spots where this is good for me.
Right, yeah, and like that, when I was thinking about it, whenever I was looking at Dardar's numbers before he came in, I was like, Jay loves to develop these guys and turn them into these hitters and improve them. I was like, well, he's getting a nice piece of clay with Dardar, where he was hitting 326 with 13 homers and 18 doubles last year. And I remember we asked him after the interview. I mean, he's obviously a hitter. Like, that's his mindset. We were like, so what are you thinking for what position do you need to be? And he was like, well, Jay asked me the same question. He was like, as long as I'm in that batter spot.
He said, what position do you play against a left-handed batter? So,
which is absolutely awesome.
Somebody that knows what he's good at, but can also, like, he said on the show, like, working. I know I have to work on defense because the swing's there. And so, somebody another left-handed bat that Jay is going to find a way to work into the lineup at some point, because you see the continued additions of what they're looking to do, and it's the guys that are coming in, like, they're all kind of vying for a couple of spots, and they're all going to contend to play. And so I think knowing Dardar now the way that we do, I think he's more than comfortable being one of those rotational guys, and you try to build it up the same way you did last year. And when Jake Brown was on the show, he's like, it's not supposed to work that way. Like, you don't have guys that are really interested in becoming platoon guys, but the way that the message is sold, and if you're winning, it becomes a lot easier to do that because it's working. And that's where you get the character guys.
And
you're bringing in the guys that check the box character-wise.
And, with I don't want it to turn into like hero worship time necessarily, because I feel like sometimes that's kind of where my brain is going, but it's honestly just so fun to have a coach that we trust in.
Yeah.
So completely, to where it's like, like whatever decision this guy's making, everything's not going to work out 100% of the time, but it's like, you can't question their instincts on anyone they're bringing in, that they're seeing something in these guys and that they think they know how to translate it into next level players. And it's just so fun to like fangirl out about, really.
And not, and it's not like, well, think about our lifetime. Like, the coaches that I've had in my life that I was like, we're convinced are good coaches is, like, Paul was obviously established, but it didn't feel the same as maybe what people wanted it to be because you just didn't have the championships at the end of it. But if you go down the list, like, I was on the tail end of Saban. I got, to experience seeing greatness and seeing what a championship effort takes and championship building of rosters are.
Right.
And then it immediately got snatched away.
Every move is so calculated and, there's a plan in place.
Right. Yeah. Like, this is so I got a taste of what winning is supposed to look like and what good coaching is.
And then we had guys that, had their moments and, had stretches of things that they were good at, but you were never like, oh, my dude's got it.
This is the best coach in the sport.
Yeah.
Like, I go from Nick Saban, which I was like, that's the best coach in the sport. Obviously, he gets hired by the Miami Dolphins.
And there's a reason that we're still upset about it to this day.
Right.
It's because it felt so good to have this guy on our side, and then,
it's gone.
Yeah.
So I go from that to Les, to Ed Orgeron, to now Brian Kelly, which feels like a winner. And then on the basketball side, like, it was nobody until Will Wade. And then that got snatched from me, too.
So,
so that's why it's so easy to be like, oh, this is what coaching is.
Yeah, it's just fun.
At least you got a taste of Saban. I mean, look, I was born into Alabama Saban.
Yeah,
I didn't get any of that. I've been watching Misfits coach my teams my entire life.
Yeah, you got no Anakin Skywalker. You only got Darth Vader.
Literally. I didn't get the first half of the story. I mean, that wasn't until I was like 12 years old, and I was like, wait, Nick Saban coached here?
Oh.
I know it makes us seem like ridiculous homers when I say things like that, but this is a safe place.
No, I mean, you're right.
And it's kind of indisputable at this point that he is.
Yeah, it's okay to be like, I very much believe that he's the best coach
the
of the
best,
sport,
yeah.
and he's at LSU, which is a good thing for me.
No, I mean, you've got a Magic 8 Ball, you've got ChatGPT, and you've got Jay Johnson. Those are three things that, like, that's what Jay Johnson is to me. I would ask him any question about my life or decisions or whatever, and I would wholly trust whatever he tells me to do. Like, that's just where I'm at. Like, I would ask him.
I wish we could get him on for
buy.
a weekly advice column. That would be.
We'll just be like, hey, Jay, I'm thinking between the 2024 Camry and the 2025 Toyota Tundra. What are you thinking? He would tell me, and I'd be like, okay, so.
Yeah, you literally can do no wrong. Whatever you say, I'm going to do. Yeah, and this
Right.
is just another instance of Jonathan just yearning for a father. I need life advice.
I mean, he looked at Dardar yesterday, and he's asking him, what's your relationship like with the players? And Lloyd interjects and is like, oh, his father? You're asking about his dad? And then Jonathan goes, yeah, I mean, if you have a dad that you can spare or share or something.
Just I'm curious to know what other people's dads. You love them. You guys around.
So we'll get you, buddy. We'll get Jay.
Yes, so that's the best dad you could probably get. But in other news, LSU basketball. There is some positive news as DJ Thomas, the transfer from UNLV, Matt McMahon's new point guard, has been fully cleared for all basketball-related activities from his shoulder injury. So obviously very good news there for LSU. We haven't talked too much about men's basketball. I think a lot of people are in a kind of a sit, wait, and see mindset with this team, with this program, because, as much success as you think they've had in the transfer portal and over the offseason, it's just going to come down to what they do on the court. But it's good news to see that the highly touted transfer point guard, DJ Thomas, that is now an LSU Tiger, is cleared from his injury and ready to get to work.
This is looking like McMahon's best roster since he's been here, talent-wise, right?
Yes, I mean, that's the expectation. This is the best roster they've put together. They committed to the NIL pool. They got money so that he can spend and build his roster.
We got three
The
top 100
expectations
guys,
are very, not as high as football, but it's similar to the football expectations in the sense of, okay, now you've got no excuses. You got to make the tournament. Like, Brian Kelly needs to make the playoff. Matt McMahon needs to make March Madness. Like, it has to happen.
Yeah.
You cannot be sitting on the couch again in March when we've obviously committed money to you building this roster with guys like DJ Thomas, Markel Sutton, Ron Zipper. I mean, go down the list of the guys they've added. The expectations are high in a sense, but it's still the SEC in basketball. You've got to go out there and you've got to do it on the court. And I get why that's the fan base's mindset of you've got to prove it to me on the court, because that's where it's at. I think this is a very good team on paper. You got to see them go out there and play. So I'm excited to see them play, and it's obviously really good news to know that that DJ Thomas is cleared from his injury.
I love slam dunks. You guys love slam dunks?
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Wow, that was
2 points.
That was honestly underwhelming.
No, 2 points is 2 points. Put the ball in the
Oh,
basket.
Jesus Christ, both of you are fucking awful. All right.
Yeah, I mean, if you just lay that ball up, it counts the same as those fancy dancy windmill dunks that
I
you try
like to get the
do. You just
people
lay that
going
in
with the
there.
slam dunk.
I'd rather you just with a smooth kiss
I
off
like
the
to
glass
feel
right
alive.
there and all that stuff.
You know what this is right here?
I get nothing at home.
Bounce pass.
I get nothing from my
How about just
children.
that? You need
I need a
thumbs
slam
gotta be
dunk.
inverted underneath when you're chest passing. Thumbs got to be down, right? Follow through, whole deal. You know it.
Snap it.
But
Snap it.
good news there for LSU basketball. There you go, snap it.
Snap it.
Slam
These things have
dunk.
been ingrained in my brain my entire life, giving me flashbacks. Next up in the headlines, John Eads with a really cool clip. I guess Eads is on a road trip as well. As he was asking Ricky Collins a question. Either Ricky's back in town or Eads has made his way back to Syracuse, because he asked Ricky Collins about LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier and put a nice little package together of Ricky talking about Nuss, who obviously he has been in the QB room with the last 2 seasons before he transferred out to Syracuse to battle for the starting job. Obviously, love Ricky, wish him the best of luck, but it was really nice to see, hear what he had to say about LSU's QB coming up. Lloyd, can we run that?
Yep. Give me 1 second. And I'm.
You got it, because one of the quotes from it is he said, "I feel like Garrett can do that and be a finalist, if not win it," when talking about Nuss taking a jump from year 1 to year 2, similar to another one of Ricky's teammates, Jaden Daniels. So Ricky's obviously seen quarterback play at a high level, and he knows what the expectations are for Nuss.
He's interesting, different for sure, but ultimately he's a pro, and how he carries himself, and how he prepares. I respect that a lot about him, and he works hard, and he's a leader. He's a natural leader.
You were there to see Jaden in his second year. Obviously won the Heisman. Garrett had a great first year. We'll see what happens in year 2. Do you think he could take a big jump like that?
It's definitely doable. What Jaden did is almost unheard of. For the stats and the numbers and what he did with that team. But no, Gary is talented. There are 2 different players, but they are very strong in their respective attributes. So I feel like Gary can do that and be a finalist if not win it. Yeah.
2 more for Coach Sloan. How do you think he did it his first year at OC, and how do you think he improved in year 2?
I feel like Coach Sloan he's a good play caller. I mean, he caters the game to Gary's strong suits. He does a good job with communicating with him what he likes and his likes and dislikes. I feel like he's good with him for sure. Being able to call what's best for him so he can succeed.
And then this year, what are you hoping to do to really achieve your potential in the college level?
Just be able to go, like I said, get my name out there and show the world who I am. I feel like my play will speak loud volume, so that's all I have to do is get on the field, stay healthy, and keep God first.
Great stuff there from our guy John Eads over at WAFB. Also great stuff from Ricky Collins. Excellent answers, and good job in the interview setting. But yeah, no, he hit the nail on the head, and that the expectations are high, and Nussmeier definitely has the ability to do it. And it just takes a few things to kind of fall in line. And in my opinion, because I did see the quote put out the other day that Garrett's working on his legs, his lower body, like Wilson said yesterday, his quick twitch ability, things like that. There are just a few things that if they can go right, Nussmeier will have the season, and LSU will have the season that's expected. If the O-line comes together and performs, obviously. But if he can cut that turnover number down, without a doubt, and can add to the rushing yards, just to at least prove that, hey, it's a threat, and when it's there, I'm going to take it. If those things happen, I think the expectations are going to be pretty high, right?
Yeah, if you want to say pretty, it also sounded like Ricky Collins thinks he might be on the same level as Garrett Nussmeier. It didn't seem like he was really all in on the fact that did you not get that vibe at all? Or is that he's a good player.
Maybe if I have that mindset going and listen to it again, maybe.
Yeah, but
I've never experienced confidence, so I can't pick up if others have it.
But,
I don't know. Is that what that was?
Yeah, I think so. But then I saw whatever you say, like expectations of what you want to see from this year's offense at LSU. Tiger droppings will never fail you. Is LSU bringing back the 2019 offense this year?
Yeah.
Look.
In what way?
Is
Just
a very good
play for play
roster and a deep roster? Yeah.
Like Funny Games is a shot-for-shot remake.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Justin Jefferson, Thaddeus Moss, Terrace Marshall, Lloyd Cushenberry, obviously, Jonathan, and the rest of that team.
Cushion
they're not
boys.
walking through the door.
No.
Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to compare to 2019?
Oh, I'll tell you why.
Fucking silly.
I think we have the personnel to do it. 1, fifth-year senior quarterback. 2, multiple talented. Experienced studs at wide receiver. Also, our tight end room is superior to 2019. We should have a very good offensive line at each position with the addition of the transfers. Kane Durham can serve as our Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Harlan Berry and JT Lindsey can add some punch as freshmen like Ty Davis-Price and John Emery did as freshmen.
This is the same kind of thing, like when you have a family member that kind of loses their mind and starts thinking that they're being gang stalked. Like where you find the similarities between everything, and you piece the puzzle together. It's that same sort of mindset, just slightly healthier. That inspires that kind of behavior. Can we just have a thing that is another thing?
If wasn't in this business, I think I probably could fall for that. Like if I wasn't like, if I haven't completely because I've like reshaped my mind as a fan at this point to like kind of make sure that I'm not that person. Because like, I think, you know, maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I probably would have been like, yeah, no, I mean, those similarities are jarring. Like, I mean, it's looking pretty similar. But no, I mean, I think this team can be very good. And I think that some of the things they talk about, like the tight end room, those expectations should be very high. The expectations for Nussmeier should be high. Gabe Durham should be a very, very good running back.
Absolutely.
This is a talented wide receiver room.
And it's fun to get excited.
It's not 2019. It won't be 2019. There will never be another 2019. And
there have only been two other college football programs in history.
Let's just love 2025, guys.
Yeah.
Let's just love 2025.
But you know, Kennedy had an assistant named Lincoln, and then Lincoln had an assistant named Kennedy, and then they were shot. You guys, there's
Yeah,
that thing.
oh.
Yeah,
Put the whole thing together.
Uh-huh.
It's just like 2019, 2025.
It's like 2019, 2025.
2019, 7,775 yards of total offense, 6,000 passing yards,
I think we hit it on the nose.
60 passing touchdowns, 1,700 rushing yards, 26 rushing touchdowns, 48 points a game. Like, that's a little high. Be like, go in and score 50 points a game, dude.
I mean, look, like I think that this offense can be very good. But 2019 and 2023, those two offenses, I mean, that is like, you've got to have a lot of things fall in place. And I think that Garrett Nussmeier will be a very good quarterback this year. Like, I think there's a reason he's in the conversation for the Heisman, for the #1 pick. Go down the list.
But
A lot of things kind of have to go right where people have to stay healthy.
Let's just
Like
appreciate
2019, I mean,
something
you
for
had
what it
guys, they
is.
were healthy. Like,
Right.
You've seen with this team, like you're betting, you know, when you're talking about veteran wide receivers, talented wide receivers, Chris Hilton is a name that's going to come up to mind. We haven't seen him put together a clean, healthy season yet, and I think his health will play a major factor in how successful and what the expectations are, and what this offense truly looks like going into next season.
Yeah, I mean, he's a massive. You saw the difference he made when he was on the field versus when he was off the field. Like, it made
Right.
Nuss look like the quarterback that everybody expects to see in 2025. But then there's the added bonus of, you talked about the ability to run the football from Nuss's perspective. If you do half of what Burrow did on the ground, like, I think that you would feel very confident about at least the offensive output from. I'm not comparing it to 2019 because nothing will do that, but to have a serviceable offense when you can score almost, if you score 30 points a game, do you feel confident that you should win every game? I think LSU
Yes.
could get to be an offense that does that. It just depends on it. Lest we forget, like, Steve Ensminger, Joe Brady. Like, now you don't have that surprise factor of Sloan coming in and be like, whoa, change the entire offense. Like, there's going to be adjustments made for Nussmeier and to kind of get him in a more comfortable spot than you saw last year. But LSU had such a, like, lying in the weeds of nobody expected any of that. And then you're like, we can't adjust on the fly like this, and that team's ready. Like, you were playing catch-up to that offense all year. So I do think Sloan, though, in his second year as OC, with Garrett Nussmeier returning, like, all of the things that are favorable, I get. Like, there's no reason that this LSU offense should be bad. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, but that's where expectations go. Immediately, because what was our last championship team? Oh, if they do that, then they'll win the whole thing. Like, no shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if they're one of the three greatest college football teams of all time, they will win
Yeah, so
the championship.
I just thought that was a funny little exercise
No,
to
I
do.
like that.
Because
Yeah,
I do have high
that's-
hopes for the LSU offense, and then, I mean, I don't think, well, look at the defense, Derek Stingley Jr., DJ Pickett, who knows? See, it's an easy game to play.
It is.
No, you could, like, I'm telling you, you can fall into it.
Yeah,
But speaking of this LSU football team, EA College Football 26 had their ratings announced. And in the top 20 quarterbacks sits LSU's shot caller, Garrett Nussmeier, tied for first. Klubnik, Nussmeier, and Drew Aller,
No.
Lloyd's best friend, all tied for first at a 92 overall, followed behind them. Lenore Sellers, John Mateer, Carson Beck at 91. You've got Arch Manning and Lagway at a 90. Darian Mensa at an 89. Nico at 88. shout out to Diego Pavia at 88. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Vandy might be a sneaky team with Pavia at an 88. It's a little read option offense, but there's Nussmeier sitting at the top, tied between Klubnik and Aller, and I think that kind of fits the talking point from a national perspective of the three best quarterbacks in the country. I think it's said that it's expected for those three to be the guys. It's like they're expecting those three and maybe throw in a Lagway, a Sellers, and a Manning, a mix of those guys to be sitting in New York for trying to win the Heisman Trophy. So the ratings back up the national perspective, but the ratings I really like this next graphic. EA College Football 26, the top 10 fastest players. First of all, Nick Harbor is a freak. Once again, 99 speed. But there you see Barry and Brown with 99 speed, Jelani Watkins with 98, which 2 thumbs down because Jelani Watkins should be 99 speed.
You mean like the literal sprinter?
Maybe actually runs track and is in the 100-meter dash.
That's what's so as much as EA does this, and I'm sure they look at some things, but it's like, are they unaware of Jelani Watkins? I know we're close to it, and I know that LSU fans know how fast Jelani Watkins is, and it hasn't translated to football speed because you haven't seen him really play, but you would be a fool to think the man that's going to maybe qualify for the Olympics in the 100-meter dash isn't a 99.
Yeah, let's drop him down 110.
Let's
just knock one point off.
We can't have that many 99 speeds.
Donde está Chris Hilton? Where's Chris Hilton?
Yes.
Chris Hilton might be the fastest on the team. He's running 23 miles per hour.
Do you think that they're we can't have LSU have Barry and Brown 99, Jelani Watkins 99, Chris Hilton 99 speed? The game would be broken.
I mean, he might be right there with a 96 for all we know. You know what I mean?
This LSU team on online play or whatever, playing, it's going to be the team to use outside of Ohio State. Because Ohio State, you obviously have Jeremiah Smith, who's going to be a cheat code. But at LSU, you can throw out a wide receiver group with Barry and Brown 99 speed, Jelani Watkins 98 speed, Aaron Anderson and Chris Hilton probably both 95 plus. And then probably Caden Durham in the backfield, who was also a sprinter in high school, is probably at 95 speed too. So it might be the fastest team in the game. It's going to be the fastest team in the game. And tell you what, I am excited to. That'll be our first test case to how good this LSU
you trumped
team
it.
truly is.
You trumped it.
That'll be the first test. That'll be our first test case. I'll say this team's very good.
They're fast.
I can win in college football 26. That means LSU's going to be a pretty good team going into next year.
Yeah, if they can make me good at the game, then the team is good. Good Lord, I'm awful.
God, me too.
The last headline this morning, Lloyd, did you see where an old friend of ours committed to play football?
Yes, I did.
A name that's floated around LSU a lot since 2022, or before 2022. I mean, it was committed to LSU. It was going down to the wire. Thought they could get him and Perk in that 22 class. He ends up going to A&M, playing 2 years there, hits the portal. Everyone thinks it's LSU. It ends up not being LSU. It ends up not being LSU again. And he finally has found his new home as Jacobe Matthews is staying in the SEC and has committed to Auburn. Your first reactions, Lloyd?
I was just I don't think he's one of those guys that I can't get mad at because I've always just one of those that you've watched in the recruiting cycle and you're like, oh, he should come to LSU, and for some reason it just never matches up. But I'm just excited for the fact that he's playing football again. It felt like he wasn't going to play the sport, and he was obviously the number one safety coming out. It's been 3 years since you've seen him last play, and now for him to land in the SEC again, I think is good for him. But it also makes me think LSU didn't have interest.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that must have been the case because the opportunity was there 2 times, I think, for LSU to go out and get him, especially this cycle because obviously he's at Auburn. LSU.
I was just going to say before, obviously before the Jacobe Matthews thing, it was what did LSU you thought what were they going to attack in the portal was safety. So it's like, this makes so much sense. A guy from Louisiana, he's in the portal. We didn't really even know if he was available, but then you see the news pop that obviously he goes to Auburn, but LSU made so many other moves in the safety room that it became like, I guess there's not really room for you. Like, if you wanted to add another safety, you could have, but you went out and addressed that position, and you had guys coming back, and you had people in the portal, and it just was like, it's a loaded room that was once a area of concern. Now it looks like it might be a strength.
Yeah, no, I mean, A.J. Halsey is going to be a dude. But I like what Matthew Conkle said in the chat. He said, I think this staff is a little tired of project-type players, a.k.a. Denver Harris. Look, I don't think Jacobe is on the Denver Harris level. But definitely, I mean, the fact that the expectations this team has going into next season, you didn't want to put all your eggs into a basket of Jacobe Matthews, who, I mean, I'm assuming played JUCO ball or something during the time off since he hasn't been in A&M. But a guy that hasn't played SEC football in 2 seasons, you don't want to put all of your eggs into that basket, and rightfully so with how high the expectations are. And obviously adding Cooley and Halsey, kind of like you said, Lloyd, those moves, plus having a Deshaun Spears and Javian Togiano, like all of those things make it fitting of like the expectations are very high. We're not going out and adding guys that are projects or that we don't know if it's going to be like an instant impact for next season. The guys they went out and got in this portal class are instant impact guys every spot. Offensive line, wide receiver, tight end. They go down the list on defense, every position on defense besides linebacker. Everything they added are instant impact. And I just don't know if Jacobe Matthews would have been that same fit. Look, I would have loved to see him in the LSU uniform when he was at Ponchatoula. I mean, it was special. This guy was a monster. And I was upset when he ended up at A&M. But I just don't think it was the right timing for that commitment to LSU. But I am going to be excited to see what it looks like with him at Auburn. Just how, what he looks like if he gets the opportunity to go out there and play. Because he is a very, very good football player.
And Auburn is in the camp of they do need to take chances. Like, they have to, like, they see a talented former 5-star that feels like more of a fit for what Auburn's trying to rebuild with Freeze. And they'll take chances on guys like the way that LSU has constructed this team through the portal and through the recruiting and through like the leadership aspect. It felt like they're kind of set with who their guys are, and they don't want to insert a potential question mark. A guy from Louisiana that clearly wants to play, if he's not getting the playing time, rift in the locker room, that's where you get the Denver Harris thing. I don't know anything about that, but it feels like LSU is already set with the guys that they have, because every video you see, it's very chemistry-based, chemistry-oriented, and Nuss said the same thing in his interview, where it was, this is the closest team I've ever been a part of. It just feels as if they are set with what they want to do from a team-building standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Auburn's expectations are college football playoff. Their expectations are another step in the right direction under Freeze to try to get there at some point. I just think they're 3 years away from that being the expectations if they can continue to grow. LSU's expectation is you got to compete. Like, it's almost a national championship season in a sense. So that's kind of why it didn't mesh well. I think Jacobe Matthews fits Auburn's current standing, like you said, much more than he did LSU's.
And Auburn's going to be sneaky. I've got a feeling. You saw they were very close to winning a lot of games last year, and you have a coach that has experience winning before, has won at a very high level. Obviously, he has some character issues in his own right, but who they added in the portal, what Hugh Freeze can do offensively, don't be surprised if Auburn sneaks up and bites a couple people this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, and Hugh Freeze needs it, because I think he's got to take a step in the right direction at Auburn, because Hugh Freeze is a good football coach. Like, he's a heck of a play caller, and he can get the things right. It's just, can you do it at Auburn in the SEC, which is as good as a conference as there's ever been in the sport currently? You've got to make it happen. And I think the expectations on him are you've got to improve. Like, it cannot be last year, and I think a lot of that started with quarterback, and they went out there, they got Jackson Arnold, and now they're adding a little pieces. I think, Matthew Conkle, Freeze is throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where Auburn's at. Like, I don't think that's the wrong way to attack it because I think that's where Auburn is currently standing in the sport. So
And it's also
we'll see what it looks like.
kind of what Freeze is,
But-
right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's them saying, what the
That's a
fuck?
good
Let's-
point.
Yes.
See what
shot.
sticks to the wall, huh?
Let's. Yeah. I'll make a couple phone calls.
I'll put a couple
Feelers out there.
Yeah, no. So I mean, I think that it fits where they're at. But the good thing is, Auburn is going to be a sneaky team. They are not on LSU's schedule, which is still odd. Like to me, like that Auburn's not on the schedule to play LSU. But we'll see if they can maybe sneak up and bite Bama or something. That's always fun. I always love when Auburn can steal one from Bama. I don't really like Auburn that much, but when they can go up in like 2019 when they went and stole that one from Bama at the end of the year, that was awesome.
And
But
welcome Auburn to the Nike family. Finally, they've been Auburn. They've
I
been
saw
Under
that.
Armour forever.
I saw that. No, good call by Auburn. Look, I mean they need something. I mean their uniforms are great, like just from a tradition standpoint.
Well, their
but
LSU's
get
just in
that
a
Nike
different,
check.
a different
Yeah.
color.
Get that Nike check, brother. But two collapse starting it off this morning. Whit Weeks is a preseason second-team All-America selection by the Walter Camp Foundation. I believe he was the only selection from the LSU roster because that's the only one I saw get put out. I haven't looked through the entire list, but Whit Weeks, second-team All-American by Walter Camp. And so that deserves two claps. I tell you what, I cannot wait to see number 40 out there headhunting with his hair blowing in the wind underneath the helmet.
Jersey
And just a
rolled
smile
up.
on his face, dude. I cannot wait. Then he gets the post-game interview. He's like, man, I tell you what, I just wanted to hit him in the mouth. I just saw him coming through. When I saw him running through that hole, I had to run through his face.
I mean, I don't know what my papa would say if I didn't.
No, well, I know what his dad would do if it's a good play. Hit him. This is my favorite moment from last season. The tip pick, and then you see Whit Weeks shotgun the football.
Yeah.
And then it pans to his dad, and he gives him one of these.
That
That's
boy.
The best
Must feel great.
best move in the world. Like it's better than a fist pump. It's better than like anything.
The
The
good
ultimate
boy
father
thumbs
move.
up and point.
Yep.
But two claps for Whit Weeks. Ready.
Oh gosh.
This is
This is the hardest.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
difficult.
We do this. We're not very good at it, and when we're in person, much less
They're
trying to do it
virtually.
over video call. Next up on the two claps, sticking with LSU football, Chris Hilton, Freak of the Week. And I love these videos, and they put them out. The guy's grinding, the guy's working. And this week it is Chris Hilton Jr., who obviously expectations are high. And if he can keep it healthy, he should be one of the best players in the sport with the ability he has.
Hilton is the guy
Here
that
it is.
is really starting to emerge.
We got one guy that stood out above the rest, but he leads in a manner that the guys look to him and they know they need it, right?
I think Chris Hilton could be really, really good.
Shout out to Hunt Palmer there in the segment. I think Chris Hilton could be really, really good. I love the breakdown. But yeah, no, I mean, look, this is
Forever
one of
the
most
optimist,
exciting-
Hunt Palmer.
Dude, I love it. The excitement around Hilton should be real. Like, if he can put together a fully healthy season, the tools he has, the athleticism, the ability, and the connection between him and Nussmeier is like a match made in heaven. You saw it against Oklahoma where it was just like, hey, I'm the fastest guy on the field. Nussmeier, you've got a cannon for a right arm. Just lay that thing out there. I'm going to go get it. And I'm excited to see because I think his draft stock, I don't know where it's at right now, but I think it could skyrocket if he puts a season together, and then he's going to test off the charts. I mean, watching him run the 40 in that video, like he's going to be an absolute freak, and he is this week's Freak of the Week for 2 claps. Right?
That was better.
I think that was better.
Yeah.
I think that was better. Next up, 2 claps for our guy, Paul Skenes. I don't know if anybody else saw this on the Twitter sphere last night, as Paul Skenes is looking to join a new team, not the Pirates. He wants to join the grounds crew. As before the game, he was out there working with the grounds crew. He joined them, and he said he did it because he was bored.
God.
And then said that he would love to cut grass professionally once his baseball career is over.
He's literally.
Is he a real person?
That's just the most beautifully baseball player shit.
Yeah. he might be on a list somewhere. I need to get him tested. He likes it so much to cut grass and fly planes. He's like Lenny of Mice and Men. Like, just simple.
Throwing that rabbit.
Yeah.
102.
Simple man.
It's the simple pleasures in life.
Fucking working for him.
It's so I guess
change
I
a
go.
thing, brother.
And the best thing about it is, I don't even think he knows this, but he can do whatever he wants. Like nobody's gonna stop him from going. Like if he wanted to hop on a lawnmower, they'd just be like, "Oh, Paul, do whatever you like. If you want to go help."
Oh, and he'd probably be the best grass cutter lawnmower in the world.
Oh,
because he's so meticulous, and like he would be as good as it gets with the grounds crew. He is hilarious.
He's the
like,
one.
I just wanted to come down here. I was bored, and I'd love to cut grass professionally and play baseball.
And I think we haven't gotten to, like, he's very good at keeping his, I guess, personal and private life separate and, like, his personality away from, I guess, the personality he has versus his baseball personality. But there's little snippets that you see that come out of Paul Skenes. Like, this dude, everybody loves him, and he's actually, like, hysterical. Like, whenever Dylan Cruz hits the home run in 23 and Paul Skenes comes out the dugout, he's like, "You got my ass in trouble," and, like, shoves him in the dugout. He was the one that came up with the T-shirt idea, where he's, like, making different pictures of players and candid moments as T-shirts for, like, before the game that the whole team would wear. Like, he has a sneaky good personality. He just kind of doesn't let you see it.
No, my favorite was, the GQ interview. One of the questions Livy asks him is, "What is your favorite characteristic or thing about me?" He asks her, "What is my favorite thing about you?" And she goes, "Obviously my personality." And Paul goes, "Yeah." Dude, he's funny. Just
to take a step back for a second. I like to acknowledge the moments in the show where we sound like remember the Bill Swerskis, the sports guys, the Bears, the Bulls, SNL sketch. When we just did that thing about Paul Skenes, Paul Skenes would be the best groundskeeper in the world if he wanted to be. Like, God versus Paul Skenes when it comes to groundskeeping. Who you got?
Paul Skenes.
Skenes all day.
That was excellent. I gotta get that since my dad. My dad loves that skit, and you just crushed it.
I got a Polish sausage lodged in one of my arteries.
Big legal boudin.
Paul Skenes, the best grass cutter, lawnmower, landscaper in the land. 2 claps.
Oh no,
that wasn't as bad as you think.
And then next up, we've got Archie Manning gave a little quote talking about how they select the quarterbacks for the Manning Passing Academy, and he said, "It's going to load up here." And he big dogged Mel Kiper a little bit, which fired me up. Because I can't stand Mel Kiper. And so he said he shared draft expert Todd McShay helps him decide which QBs deserve an invitation to camp. And then he made a joke and said, "Mel Kiper tries to steal Todd McShay's quarterback list every year. Todd knows a lot more than Mel Kiper."
Cool.
Just let him have it, Archie.
Archie's out there with a cane now. He doesn't give a shit.
They always say Todd McShay, that Mel Kiper tries to steal Todd McShay's quarterback list every day. Todd knows a lot more than Mel Kiper. All right, that's enough of that, right?
Yep. Do you think that's still a little like bad blood from the Eli stuff? Like he's probably still like.
Probably so.
I would assume, like, it's got to be like they've just never probably gotten along since all of that draft day mess.
Yeah, and now you had Kuiper with another legitimate crash out last season, and so it's like he just can't stop taking L's. And then Archie, yeah, I mean, it has to be because of the 03 draft with Eli and Phillip Rivers and yeah, like that had to be a whole stink because of the way the way that it played out for like it did feel like Archie was holding Eli a bit hostage just to not go to San Diego, but I'm sure the reporting around it was less than ideal, as the Manning family likes to keep their family secrets. Like the way they do business is very much behind closed doors.
Right, and I mean, and they'll come across, they're like, I mean, I can't stand what the Mannings are doing right now. Like, just probably flashing out, wrecking the Mannings for handling it that way. And Archie's probably still got a little bit of angst.
I'm never going to forget he said that about my boy.
Good for Todd McShay. Todd's just kind of fallen in a spot where it's like, well, he hates Mel, so I guess I'm his favorite.
Yeah. Thanks.
Just be more likable than Mel Kiper.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with what I've done, more of what Mel's done. I've just kind of fallen into the spot as Archie Manning's favorite broadcaster.
Yeah, McShay, he just does a podcast. He's not even on ESPN anymore. Like,
yeah, no,
he kind of stopped covering the sport for a while. Like, no, you're still my favorite.
Yeah, no, still my favorite. 2 claps for Archie Manning because that was awesome. Ready?
Oh.
Yeah.
Next up, Paul Feinbaum. Speaking of media members, I want everyone to listen to this Paul Feinbaum clip from the Get Up, I think yesterday morning, that I'm not going to talk about until y'all listen to it with your own ears and hear what was said, because I was flabbergasted, I guess is the word.
Feinbaum, what are your expectations for Arch?
The absolute roof. I think there's a reasonably good chance that Arch Manning will be sitting on the front row in New York at the Heisman ceremony. That's assuming that his team does what it's supposed to do and compete for not only the SEC, but for the national championship. And I really believe they will. I think Steve Sarkisian, who's one of the most amazing play callers I've ever seen, made a critical mistake late in the year. He was way too loyal to Quinn Ewers, who was banged up and was really ineffective. Had Arch Manning been instituted in the second half of that game, like Nick Saban did a couple of years ago with Tagovailoa, I think there's a reasonably good chance that Texas would have beaten Ohio State and won the national championship. They're very capable of doing it again this year. I believe also that Arch Manning is the best college football quarterback we have seen since Tim Tebow entered the scene in 2006.
First off, for everybody saying that I'm on the toilet, I'm not on the toilet. I'm not using the restroom currently. I'm sitting outside here on the balcony, overseeing the beautiful sandy beaches here in Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Are you about to deliver a tear-jerking soliloquy? This is beautiful.
And this is my feet are actually kicked up on the chair in front of me as well, so I'm very comfortable here.
Not on the toilet.
I'm about to say. And not on a toilet. This is not a toilet. This is actually, I guess this is the biggest toilet.
Yeah.
As it's the ocean. I mean,
that's what I call it. God's toilet.
That's right. God's water.
It's the biggest toilet. It's the biggest toilet because you can do whatever you want in there, honestly. It's full of piss. I went in there and said, wow, this is a lot of piss.
We gotta clean it up.
Fish cum, all of it.
But Paul Feinbaum went a million different directions. Like he was
singing Zach.
He has to play if he plays against Ohio State. First of all, for those that don't know, Arch Manning was absolutely concussed. And he played one play. He played one play against Ohio State. He was not available to come in at the end of that game because he got knocked out, and there's nobody talked about it. And then
Paul doesn't remember that.
No, because he probably didn't watch.
No, he just says things. It must be fun to just say things.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, but I mean, at least we try to be not completely stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. And then the quote of
Tim
Arch
Tebow
Manning is the best college football quarterback we have seen since Tim Tebow in 2006. Are you kidding me?
You skipped quite a bit on that list.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously our mind's going to first go to Joe Burrow in 2019. I mean, that's the greatest quarterback season ever in the sport. Cam Newton, Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa. Go down the list.
Lamar Jackson.
Like, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota. Like, I mean, I could keep going. Mac Jones in 2020. I mean, what are we doing?
And you can't say he's going to have a Tebow-esque career because, first of all, he doesn't play like that, and it's too late. Like, he could only be here for a year in college football, and I don't think so. That would be more comparable to Burrow than it would be to Tim Tebow, who played for felt like forever, and like is a great college quarterback. I think Arch has higher aspirations than that.
Right. I mean, like, from a career standpoint,
Tim Tebow was a wild pool.
And Tebow, I mean, just from like a college career standpoint, Tebow's probably put together the best body of work over like a 4-season stretch or whatever it was. But like, Arch, I don't think Arch is going to be this 3-4 year quarterback. He's going to be 1, maybe 2 seasons as the starting guy and then be out of there, which means it would be more comparable to a Marcus Mariota or a Jameis Winston or a Joe Burrow. Like, go down the list. I just can't believe.
Also, just, I mean,
he threw out Tim Tebow when he came in 06.
He's obviously going to be a good player, you know, like the hype seems to be a real thing, but he hasn't actually done anything yet. Can we just hold off and maybe, you know, not put him on the front row in New York and not compare him to Tim Tebow until
we're going to bookmark this video because I want to revisit it, you know, whenever we find out what Arch is, because I think Arch is going to be a very, very good quarterback. Yeah. He's very talented. He's got the makeup. He's a Manning. Like, he's going to be talented.
It's no shade on him whatsoever. Yeah.
But the expectation that he's going to be the best quarterback of the last 20 years is about as high. Like, I mean, think about all the guys that we've named and the ones we haven't even named that he would have to be better than.
And this is just this is a little tip and trick from the media that you see happen quite a bit. Like, people can't sprint to the front of the line fastest, like as fast as they can get there, because everybody feels like Arch is going to be really good. So it becomes, what take can make my take be the best about how good he's actually going to be? Because nobody feels like they're going to be wrong about Arch, because they shouldn't feel like it's not a shocking development to think Arch Manning might be good at football. But then it's like, okay, well, I'll take it one step further. No, I'll take it one step further. Right. Paul covered a lot of ground there, so kudos to him.
He had an entire alternate history where Texas is a national champion now.
Yeah, Arch is Arch is a defending national champion in his mind.
He looked at the Arch Manning sea and threw out a massive casting net into the water. I'm going to cover every single base on this Arch Manning discussion as I can, so that I'm the guy that is right when it's all said and done.
So when I go back and bookmark this, look at all the things I said where I was right. I told y'all. It's like, oh, cool.
I might have been wrong in this spot, that spot, this spot, and that spot, but I was right when I said that.
When I said Arch Manning's going to be good at football.
He did play quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, you think so, Paul?
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Paul Feinbaum, Stephen A. Dipspit.
Yeah.
Come on.
Is that a play on dipshit?
No, well, Stephen A. Smith, you know, he's the redneck equivalent.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's the SEC Stephen A.
Yeah, Stephen A. Dipspit.
And maybe he might, and he's moving towards. I mean, if this take ends up being a burnout, it could be the Skip Bayless, which is like a whole nother step. A whole other layer from Stephen A. I mean, if you become the Skip Bayless of SEC,
I strive for that one day.
Yeah, that's Lloyd. Don't
like we said, whenever the opposite of 2 claps is, that's what Paul gets.
Boo.
Best quarterback since Tim Tebow. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, but that's Paul.
That's Paul. Yep, that's it. One other thing I want to give 2 claps to is the Brooklyn Nets now have, what is that?
Oh, show us.
Some type of, it's gone now, but this truck, it sounded like a rocket ship.
That's Elon. He's going to clean up the sea, the Gulf of America.
I'm looking at it. God, I forgot that's what this is.
Yeah, maybe. Is that... I don't know, dude. I don't
No,
know how
it is-
this
it is-
We're
it
not
is the
touching that one.
golf. It's just I forgot that's what it's called. That's what it's named now.
Yeah, passed it in the big
The
bill.
biggest toilet.
It's America's toilet.
But it's America's toilet.
Fish
the golf
cum.
of the toilet. But 2 claps to the Brooklyn Nets, who now have Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas on the same team. And I think it's going to be absolutely unbelievable just from the standpoint of who's going to shoot the most shots in the game.
It's like a physics problem. It's like how does a basketball escape the black hole?
They call Michael Porter Jr. I mean, he never swings the rock. He never passes the ball. They used to call it, like when he was in Denver, he was the black hole. Like he would catch the ball, it was not coming out of his hands. And the former LSU standout, if anyone's seen Cam Thomas play, he is an eerily similar style of mindset where it's, hey, I'm shooting the rock if I get it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting dynamic on the court.
I don't think they're going to be swinging that thing around the horn. It might be
That's what
one
you're trying
pass.
to-
They're going to look at each other. No, I can't pass to him. I'm not getting it back. But, I mean,
Two teammates who have never passed the ball to one another.
That's how basketball usually is played its best, huh? But there's going to be a few games where they both get hot, and it's going to be like 40-40.
Which is like, I mean, it's going to be like LeBron and Kyrie in 2016, where it's like, can anyone stop these guys?
But
The best dynamic.
But they're going to lose by 24.
Yeah.
Because neither of them's really playing a lot of defense.
No, and they don't play defense.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to combine for, like, if they get hot, they're going to combine for 80 on like 75% shooting. It's going to look like the greatest thing you've ever seen, and the team is still going to lose. Mm-hmm. Because it's just not conducive with success. But
Go Nets.
that deserves 2 claps because I'm excited to watch them share the court together.
I'll go
2
for it.
claps. Ready.
There we go.
That's
I think that was good.
First one yet.
And then Lloyd, you added a 2 claps here at the bottom here.
I did add a 2 claps because you saw LSU, obviously on the king of the baseball world as of right now. Then you see your 4 guys, Chase Shores, Bear Jones, Anthony Hines, and Daniel Dickinson, all get run on the MLB Network where they did a sit-down to talk about it's basically a massive recruiting pitch for LSU, and there's nothing wrong with that in my mind. And so here's a video of them doing a sit-down with the MLB Network and basically doing the thing that Jay does whenever he gets a microphone, and it's not during an LSU baseball
Jared,
game.
let me start with you. What has been the reaction like? I know you had the parade in Baton Rouge. We know that Baton Rouge can get a little rowdy. What has it been like since you came home with the national championship?
Very surreal, unbelievable. I'm just super proud of all the guys that I got to share this with throughout the year, all the hard work and practices, bus rides, dinners. It's been a lot of fun, and just got to enjoy it, soak it all in as much as I could.
You got the chance to catch the last out. What did you do with the ball? Did you keep it?
I put it right in my back pocket, and
nobody fought you for it.
No, sir.
Anthony, you started game 2. What was that moment like for you? And to turn in the performance that you did, what did it mean to you?
Yeah, it was super cool. I mean, just running out to the mound, kind of looking at the crowd, just taking it all in. I know that, it's probably the only opportunity I'll be able to pitch in that moment, and just want to make the most of it for sure.
Yeah, speaking of that, the reason you say that is it's a good chance we'll see you get drafted this year. We were just talking to Bryce Terang, asking what he missed out on at LSU. What do you feel like you'll always take with you from LSU that you'll keep for the rest of your life?
Yeah, for sure, just the culture. I mean, playing in front of those fans was something that, I anticipated, but after playing there for a year, it's really special.
Chase, your coach, Jay Johnson, said this about you. Quote, I'm so proud of him. He was a weekend starter on the 2023 National Championship team as a freshman. Then you have Tommy John. And there's nobody I would rather have finish the game tonight for the second national championship than Chase Shores. What did that mean to hear those words from your coach?
Yeah, it means a lot. Me and Coach Johnson, I've been with him for 3 years, so just seeing how he's developed me as a player and a person means a lot that he feels that way about me.
Tell me all the emotions that you had gone through with your time at LSU. You're talking about 18 months of rehab, like the changing of roles. Like, how much did you have to grind through all of that throughout your college years?
Yeah, it was a waiting game. I was a part of that 23 team, watched from the sidelines. I was out the whole next year, so to be able to throw that last out for the 25 team, that was pretty special.
Daniel, your story is quite remarkable. One, the fact that you transferred to Baton Rouge from Utah Valley, but the fact that you walked on at Utah Valley. You had no scholarship offers coming out of high school, and now you're the starting second baseman for the national champion LSU Tigers. How would you describe your journey from a kid that got no scholarship offers out of high school to a national champion?
Yeah, I mean, just super grateful for the opportunity. I have a lot of good people in my corner, and I'm just so appreciative of them for giving me a chance. Like I said, I only had an NAI offer out of high school. Eddie Smith took a chance on me, walked on at Utah Valley, and then Coach Johnson gave me another chance out of the portal, come win a national championship, and hopefully now Pro Bowl.
He played you had surgery just Wednesday, last Wednesday. You were playing with a torn hamate bone throughout the tournament, correct? How did that affect you at the plate?
Obviously a lot. Kind of messed up my swing quite a bit, but I went into Coach Johnson's office and I said the reason why I came to LSU was to play in the postseason, and when I broke my hamate bone, I wanted to leave it all out there on the field, and the doctor said I could play through it if I wanted, so I mean, I just sucked it up and kind of left everything out there for these guys and the rest of the team.
And that's the attitude that you would hope that carries over from college to the major leagues. Granted, you see a lot of big league players who are able to do that as well, but that is extremely gutsy when you're thinking about, am I helping the team? Am I hurting the team? Can I make it worse? How did you make the final decision that you should be out there?
Man, I mean, just wanting to play out there. Like, I wanted to come to LSU to play in the postseason. I wanted to come to LSU to win a national championship. And like I said, I went into Coach Johnson's office and I said, I want to leave it all out there for you guys. But it's your decision. If I'm better than my replacement, if I'm able to help the team, it's up to you. But, you know, I have 100% effort in me the whole way.
That is a special group of players for a special program, playing for a special head coach. And I tell you what, I enjoy nothing more than hearing Jay, the rest of the coaching staff, the players, the parents, everyone associated with this team sit and talk about this team and just everything that went right. Like, it is like storybook almost. Like, it is the best. And 2 claps for those 4 LSU national champions on the screen, and the 2025 team and everything they're going to achieve moving forward. Ready? But we are brought to you every single day by CAS Roofing and Advising. Our guy Pierce Patterson from CAS Roofing Advising. Don't forget, they are offering a special deal where if you are within a 50-mile radius, I believe, especially if you're located in the central area, you can get a season tickets. You get put in a raffle, a drawing for season tickets if you call them, and you get a free roof inspection. So call our guy, Pierce Patterson, at 225-910-0619. Him and the rest of the guys over at CAS Roofing and Advising will take great care of you. Get your roof inspected, make sure you're in good condition before hurricane season. And we will take a quick break and we'll be back with Jacques Doucet right after this.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
coming to you. 3, 2, 1. We're back. We're back. We're back, buddy. You got me? No Tingle. Can you hear me? No Tingle.
Oh, gotcha. There we go. My audio was tweaking out. We are back here. Hour number 2 officially underway here on this, what's today? Wednesday? Wednesday.
Oh, Mr.
morning,
Vacation.
Every day is Saturday.
As we're officially in the off season, as there are no sports going on. It is the month of July, getting ready for LSU football in August. But we are joined by one of our favorite guests, Jacques Doucet from WFB9, the sports director over there. JD, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Noah. I thought you were one of those war correspondent 10-second delays there for a second. The guy that got you up and going here. So great to be with you this morning.
Yep, I appreciate you joining us and taking some time. I want to start off with Omaha. You made it out there for the championship series. We got to hang out with you a little bit. You got to help us take care of Christian in the press box and on the field. But what were your takeaways from this season? Obviously, a national championship team and kind of the experience in Omaha for this 2025 team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say I was surprised and discredit them, but I think all year long we felt like LSU had a pretty solid team. They were a very good team. I think the average fan was saying, they could make it to Omaha, win a game or two, but I don't feel like anyone ever said, this is a national championship team. They're going to win the national title. Certainly in 2023, I think that team was under the gun from the get-go and had those expectations with Paul Skenes and Tommy White coming in and Dylan Cruz and Trey Morgan and all those great players that were on that squad. I think that was almost, I don't want to say national championship or bust, but kind of close. And this team, I don't think had those expectations, but just another case of, people elevating their play at the right time. 2 years ago, Ty Floyd pitched the game of his life in the championship series, struck out 17 in game 1. Cade Anderson was somebody that I think the average fan didn't know a whole lot about when the season started way back on Valentine's Day, and now he goes down as a legend. Anthony Ianson, head coach Jay Johnson said he was the biggest piece in terms of getting over the hump to win a national title. I looked it up. UC San Diego stadium capacity is 500. Then you bring him over here and hand him the ball in front of 26,500 and say, hey, go win us the national championship today. That's a pretty big jump, and he handled it fine. The new additions to the team certainly paid off in game 2. Chris Stanfield brings home 2 runs with 1 swing of the bat. Derek Curiel does the same. And Ethan Fry, Louisiana product from Rose Pine, comes through. Yeah, it was just, it was great to be there. Certainly when the team is celebrating a national title and you're down on the field and you look up in the stands, you feel like you're in Elliott Box Stadium looking up and seeing all the purple and gold in the stands and people taking over Omaha, Nebraska. And certainly the city of Omaha wants LSU to be there every year. Very good for their hotels, their Uber drivers, their Rocco's Pizza, you name it. And so, not pleasant conditions. I'm not complaining. I'm just describing. If you weren't there, it was, when I got there on Friday, 102 degrees, 102 degrees again on Saturday, knocking on 100 again on Sunday, and just overwhelming wind, too, just extremely windy, and didn't cool you down either, just like a blow dryer in your face up there. So, 8 national championships since 1991. That's one every 4.2 years, if you break out your calculator. And Jay Johnson, wow, what can you say? I mean, that is a discussion looking at the long term of LSU baseball. What is possible with this guy who's only 48 years old and has already won 2 national titles? I think Nick Saban was 49 or 50 when he won his first national title at LSU. So if this guy stays 20 years at LSU, another 20 years, and even wins 1 every 4 years, he'd have 7 national titles and would pass up Skip Bertman, which is, incredible to even consider. I mean, it's a long way down the road, but he's off to an amazing start, obviously.
Yeah, and you had a great sit down with the head man for LSU baseball, Jay Johnson. Obviously, very, very impressive. In his first 4 seasons, he's gone and won 2 national championships with 2 very, very talented teams. Talk about the job he's done just a little more and kind of the future and the spot that LSU baseball is in with Jay Johnson at the helm.
Well, certainly he appears to be the perfect modern-day coach who lives, breathes, sleeps baseball, but then also has an understanding of attacking the transfer portal, getting the right guys to come here. Sometimes the simplistic thinking among some people is you can just get by with a bunch of Louisiana guys, and certainly you've got your taste of Louisiana in there with your Cade Andersons and some others, Josh Pearson and Ethan Fry. But, you have to go all the way out to California to get a Derek Curiel. You've got Steven Monster Milam from Las Cruces, Mexico. The young man they added yesterday is Santiago Garcia out of transfer portal from Oregon. Same high school as Steven Monster Milam. So you're recruiting the entire country to get these guys to LSU to make your roster. And just like a Nick Saban or any other successful coach, you got to have great assistants also who understand the mission and work just as hard as the head coach. And I think with Josh Jordan and Nate Yeske and the others he has on staff, I think he's got some great assistants also who are doing an amazing job recruiting and coaching and so forth. So it is a new era. I don't know how much these guys are getting paid with NIL money and whatnot. In our interview sit down, he told me that Paul Skenes and Tommy White, them coming to LSU, had nothing to do with NIL money. I think you can still sell the kid on the dream of playing in front of 10, 11, 12,000 people at Old Box Stadium. You can still sell them on being part of a national champion, putting off the money from the major leagues to, maybe make some money here, go to school, work on your degree. But yeah, I mean, he's got no signs of stopping, and certainly I would think at some point Texas A&M, maybe one of those schools might throw $1 billion at him and try to yank him away, as they did with Paul Maneri at one point. But if LSU can keep him, he's got no interest in coaching Major League Baseball, from what it appears. Obviously he's got a chance to go down as one of the all-time greats.
And turning the page from baseball to football, you were at the Manning Passing Academy. You got to talk to LSU's quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier, a little bit. What did you see and or hear from LSU's signal caller while you were at the Manning Passing Academy?
Well, yeah, still an amazing event. I mean, they've got campers and counselors as far as the eye can see down there in Thibodeau, all across all these fields. We got up, drove down there. I mean, my focus was Garrett pretty much the whole day. We shot him talking to some campers. He was teaching them when we were there how to throw fades, and they were throwing fade passes, and he's telling them stuff about put it up there. We're paid to throw it in the air. They're paid to go out and run and catch it, and so he was teaching them, and then we interviewed him for a while. I think that. I think somebody asked him, well, here at the Manning Passing Academy in 19 was when Joe Burrow made his famous soundbite of, I can see it scoring 40, 50, 60 points a game. And at the time, everyone kind of raised their eyebrows and, kind of asked Nussmeier to make a similar comment. And he said that's not his style, and that's not his style. I mean, he's not I would call him a brash young man. I think he's very grounded in being an athlete, a coach's son, and obviously very strong in his faith. As a Christian and being humble. So, but I do have good feelings about this team. I do think he did agree with Coach Kelly, saying that this is the best roster Coach Kelly's had since he's gotten to LSU. That doesn't mean that they're going to a national championship or a playoff, but I do think that they have addressed some of their holes. I don't think they have the gaping holes on the roster that they did in the past when, in 2023, they couldn't tackle anybody and defense was atrocious. Yeah, I think the biggest question is how this offensive line comes together after 4 of your 5 guys got drafted. Can they protect Nussmeier? Can they run the football a little bit better to help him out? We certainly saw in the 3-game losing streak last year that they couldn't run the ball, and then too much on Nussmeier and too many interceptions and bad decisions and whatnot. So this first game of the year, just a really, really big game, tough spot, tough place to play. Probably the game of the weekend. I know Ohio State is what's the game? Corso's out there. I know
Ohio State, Texas.
Ohio State, Texas. Yeah, that might be viewed as the game of the weekend. But I think for people in the South, this would be the game of the weekend. LSU and Clemson in prime time, and it'd be really nice to start 1-0 for a change, which hasn't happened since 2019. But it's going to be an exciting year. The home schedule's kind of meh, but still very important. I remember 2018, you guys probably remember, LSU opened the season with Miami in Arlington. They were a top 10 team, and then I think they had Southeastern at home, and then had to go to Auburn, who was a top 10 team. And the preseason talk was, man, they could start 1-2 and this thing go off the rails. Well, they won them both and started 3-0 and had a very strong year. Won the Fiesta Bowl and finished in the top 10. And it kind of the same thing this time around with playing Clemson, then a home game against Louisiana Tech, and then Florida comes in, who, Florida's gone from, hey, we're going to fire the coach and we're in disarray, to perhaps being a top 10 team themselves. So very interesting start for LSU.
And when you talk about some of the things Garrett Nussmeier said, and obviously he said, he agreed with Kelly that this is the most talented roster. One of the things he said right after that caught my ear was when he addressed how close and tight-knit this group is. He said this is the closest roster he's been a part of since he's been at LSU. Talk about the confidence that can kind of instill when you're looking at the expectations for a program, when you hear the star quarterback say that this is the closest, most tight-knit team that they've had.
Yeah, good for him to say, good to hear. Sometimes I take that with a grain of salt because I do so many interviews with high school and college, and they all seem to say that, right? It's like, we're a close team. We like each other. We hang out. We do things together, and not that that's a lie, but that's typically what you hear this time of year. But it's good for him to say it. I think that we'll hear more from him in 2 weeks. SEC football media days, not this Monday, but next. LSU will lead off as they always do, it seems, in Atlanta. I would assume, they haven't announced who they're taking yet, I would assume that Nussmeier would go back. I've heard some rumblings that Chris Hilton might be another one of the guys that's going. We'll see if that's going to come to fruition or not. Chris is a great talent. He hasn't always been the biggest talker, so that'd be interesting if he does go, and see how much he has to say if they take him. And then I guess you got to take somebody from the defensive side of the ball. Maybe a Whit Weeks would be, I think he'd be a home run, right, to take him over. He would have a lot to say and be some great sound bites and great personality. But I think you've got, in Garrett Nussmeier, you've got a very, very good player at the most important position on the field. He's been at LSU a long time. He still has not played a ton of football. I know some people talk about getting those 25 starts in college before you go to the pros. He's got a big arm. He's not a hired gun. He wasn't a guy just giving a bunch of money to come to LSU. He loves LSU. He wants to win. And, I think he's a great person to build your team around and to root for. And certainly I think it's time for them to make a playoff. Every year we do our LSU preseason special, and we come up with a title, and some lady at the gym the other day was talking to me, and she just said 2 words, it's time. And I said, you know what, that might be our preseason special name this year. It's nice and poignant and perfect. So yeah, I think, Brian Kelly, I think in my head, let's see, 10-4, 10-3, 9-4. I think that's 29 and 11 record through 3 years, which is almost the same as Jared DiNardo's, I think, for his first 3 years, 30 years ago, and he was very popular. But Jared DiNardo wasn't getting paid $10 million a year, so expectations a lot higher, fans paying a lot more money, and another trip to a Citrus Bowl, a Music City, a Texas, that ain't going to cut it this time around. They've got to take the next step.
Lloyd, do you have anything?
Yeah, JD, I actually do. I saw your interview with Jay Johnson, and I saw that you maybe took a little segment from us as we had our one Jonathan here ask you a series of random questions that I saw you worked out with Jay Johnson, where you went a little 80s trivia, you went some movie questions.
Did what?
Yeah, so you're inspiring segments, Jonathan. But I wanted to get your perspective on kind of Jay's personality, because I don't think a lot of people get to see that outside of if you catch him in an interview setting or something where you can kind of go more than baseball. I just wanted to see what you thought of maybe a little bit of a peek behind the curtain of Jay.
Yeah, well, it was a good time to step away from the intensity, right? He's not gonna play a game for a while. I told him, I said, you haven't lost a game in a while, you're not gonna lose a game again for a while. So Jay and I are basically the same age. I think I'm 7 months older than him. We're both 48. So I said, we're both kids of the 80s. And so here's some 80s pop culture for you. I knew he was a huge Rocky fan, so that was the first question. Rocky 3 or Rocky 4. I gave him the dirty question, so to speak, like how could you ask that question? Michael Jackson or Prince? I did do, let's see, the favorite 80s diva, Madonna, Whitney Houston, or Janet Jackson. I did do Bon Jovi or Journey, kind of the sweet pop hard rock. I did Motley Crue or Guns N' Roses, the harder, nastier rock. I did Goodfellas or Scarface, Boston Celtics or LA Lakers, 84 Detroit Tigers or 86 New York Mets. And then, of course, the Jacques Doucet question to close it out: who was better in Van Halen, David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar? Which he had no answer to. He's like, I totally went blank. Didn't know anything about that. He's like, I've heard the names. I'm sorry, but I can't answer that. I'm not So I have done that several times over the years. I did it with Les Miles too, like right when he left Kansas. I think maybe a year after he left LSU, and a guest host from Moscona one time. I had Les Miles on. I did a lot of those same questions, but yeah, I did do, and he was great. I mean, he knowledgeable and answered them all, and I think fans, if they go to the interview on YouTube, I think it's the final 6 minutes or so of the 45 minutes I talked to him. We did that segment, and he was great, very entertaining, and. Everyone wants to make somebody the next Saban in whatever sport they are. I mean, I remember Trent Johnson's first year when they were winning, having great. This guy's the Nick Saban of basketball. Or Will Wade's the Nick Saban of basketball. Or now it's this guy's the Nick Saban of baseball. But he's a lot more approachable and friendly than Saban was at that age and time. He's a cool dude. He's just an average guy from the 80s, just like me. Much more accomplished and much more well.
No, don't sell yourself short, JD. We've all seen the desk. We've all seen the Emmys behind you.
Yeah, well, that's maybe I should take a page out of Nussmeier's book, be a little more modest, put those away, not right behind me. So I think when COVID hit, everyone was trying to. When we were all at home and doing these Zooms and stuff, everyone was trying to come up with the best studio and the best look behind them, or, if you're an author, put your books behind you and stuff. So I did kind of embrace that when COVID came around and I moved into my new house. But, I just do my best, Lloyd. Just doing my best.
Toughen together. Wait, hold on. I do want to. How did the Jay Johnson answers compare to the Les Miles answers?
Let's see. Les was he was decent. I think what did Les say? Like Michael Jackson or Prince. Michael Jackson, the moonwalk, very talented individual. Prince, Purple Rain. Yes. He was decent with it. And I think he too went totally blank on the Van Halen question. He did not know about that, but I have that stored somewhere. I have it saved. I'll have to watch it again and refresh my memory, and I'll get back with you on that. But I think Jay was better, probably.
One last question I have for you that we did ask Wilson Alexander yesterday as well. Speaking on Nussmeier, could you potentially see Nussmeier don the number 18 jersey next season for LSU?
Wow, that's a hell of a question, and something that has never crossed my mind. I never thought of. Well, I mean, Matt Balk did it. I guess he's the last quarterback to wear 18 and kind of started the thing, right? I mean, I think Hester from Mock, and then away we went. I would like that. It would look strange for a while. It would take some time to get used to. Let's see, was he 5 when he first started?
Yes.
Yes. Because John Trey Kirkland was wearing 13.
Okay. Well, and I think I told you the other day, I think in the last 40 some odd years, my childhood hero when I first started watching this stuff was Tommy Hotson. He was 13. And I don't think an LSU quarterback has worn 13 since. Well, John Trey, but he wasn't really a quarterback. But I'm talking about a guy who, started consistently. I think Garrett's the only guy since Hotson to wear 13 to QB. So I like that angle. I thought that was pretty cool. And the other day, I think I told you I was at church. Tommy Hotson was 2 pews in front of me, and then Garrett Nussmeier was 2 pews behind me, and just kind of brought my little life full circle. I'm like, here's Tommy Hotson, who's 10 years older, who I always, looked at as this big grown-up adult and everything. And then I talked to Garrett Nussmeier after church, and everything to me is yes, sir, no, sir, yes, sir, no, sir, So, they were both kind of the same person in that frame of time, but, it shows how many years have gone by. But, that'd be a cool, I guess it'd be a cool storyline to see him out there wearing 18. It would take some time to get used to, I think. But I'm trying to think who else would be up for that. I guess your Weeks, your who else would you say is in the running for that?
I'd say maybe Jacobian on defense, Whit Weeks on defense. Really, that's the thing. Well, that's when the Nussmeier conversation really came from is on offense, I can't really think of someone else that kind of fits the criteria or the mold that 18's currently, that what it is outside of Nuss, because you have new faces or guys that haven't had quite as much experience.
Well, I think he deserves it. I mean, he's been there. This will be his 5th year. I mean, his blood's in the bricks, so to speak, and he is the leader of the team. Your quarterback is the guy you go to, and that's why, it's disappointing, like in the media sometimes when a game doesn't go well and the quarterback ducks out and doesn't face the media. I think he's always done that, win or lose. I think guys like Jared Lee earned a lot of respect because, no matter how the game went, Jared would always face the media after the game. I think it's kind of your responsibility as the quarterback, the face of the team. You will get more credit than you deserve, and you will get more blame than you deserve. And it's a tough spot playing quarterback at LSU. I mean, it's, people think this, some people think that throwing passes is just shooting fish in the barrel and you should never throw an interception. And you don't realize that there's, 320-pound guys bearing down you, trying to snap you in half. And the whole, I'll never forget Mickey Guidry, quarterback who, with a famous backup, he would come in, run a couple of series behind Hotson in the late 80s. He said the first time he got in the game and dropped back to pass, he couldn't even see a receiver. He couldn't, the whole thing was moving so fast that, he couldn't even find a guy. And so it's a tough spot to be in, especially with social media now and people, putting screenshots up thinking that they've made some big discovery on a guy being open or somebody was holding or whatever. I think you just have to ignore all that stuff, to quote Coach O, block out the noise, and just be the very best player you can do. And I think Nussmeier does that because I don't really see him. I know he's got a Twitter handle and all that, and I guess he does tweet some things, but I don't think he spends too much time on it, and it can really drain you of your energy trying to please everyone because that's impossible.
Well, JD, we appreciate your time. Once again, thank you for joining us, and we'll talk again next week.
Hey, you guys have a happy 4th of July. When you light the fireworks, please step away from them and, come back safe next week.
Good call. Thank you very much.
I think that was directed at me.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, we know. But that was awesome. We appreciate JD joining us once again. Great insight. And it's the Nussmeier 18 thing is very interesting. Because it would be intriguing to see a quarterback wearing it. And on offense, I can't think of anybody else that would kind of fit the mold.
I wonder if they don't do Campbell wore the patch, right?
Right, and Lloyd Cushenberry also wore the 18 patch, as you should obviously know, Jonathan.
Of course I
He's
knew
your
that.
favorite player of all time.
Yeah. Cushion boys for life. Does anybody out there know him, by the way? Can we get a signed Cush jersey in here? Because that would, it's just putting out a call. That would make my life worth living. But yeah, he.
I really wanted you to interject with some questions there, Jonathan.
Well, I figured I'd give him a week off. I was honestly just so stunned that he stole my bit.
Well, then he circled back and said, "No, it's my bit."
I was like, well, you know.
So it's two. It's just two.
Who did it more awkwardly, though?
Yeah, exactly. How much?
Yeah, no, I mean, you far and away with that, you win there, Jonathan.
You know, I was gonna. I had a couple like in the chamber, but
like what? Let's do a mock interview.
I was gonna hit him with a go-to karaoke song.
Oh,
he would love that question.
I know. Don't tell him. Don't tell him I asked.
He's gonna add that to his list.
I'm gonna ask next time.
What else did you have? Another one in the
tequila.
chamber?
That's always gets a good laugh.
Is that
for your karaoke song? It's only one word, the whole song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like Oye Como Va.
Tequila.
Like a 7-minute guitar solo.
Or
that's a good one.
Africa.
Why?
That's the song.
Yeah. Why is that funny?
It's a good karaoke song.
Oh.
Gets the people going.
Cool.
Or anything. Not anything new by Kanye. That's for sure.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna. Dude, I knew when you said "gets the people going." I knew it was gonna bring your brain to Kanye.
Yeah.
I spent too much time with you. I know you too well at this point. I knew exactly what you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say you could sing anything by Kanye. I'm glad you didn't say that because you shouldn't.
The NCAA made that very clear.
I knew, dude. I almost interjected it and said it before you because I knew you were about to say it, and I wanted to stop you.
Oh, you're just gonna take the bullet for me?
No, I was gonna say it, and I didn't. I knew you were gonna say something about him. I didn't know what you were gonna say exactly, so I wanted to get out in front of it and kind of damage control. You know.
God.
This is why I goes on vacation, folks.
Yeah, I need a nice break. But that'll be it for today. We'll be back
Was
tomorrow
that coffee?
morning. Do what?
What'd you just reject?
Coffee.
Yeah, I knew it. See, I know you too well.
Too well.
Now, if they'd have brought a nice cold Diet Coke out there.
Those are called fridge sticks.
Too early.
I mean, I guess coffee would be okay with the gulf of the toilet here.
Yeah. Oh God.
That's the biggest reason why I reject coffee is because of what it does to my
internal.
stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never pooped in the water.
Well, no, thank you. No,
Yeah.
me neither.
Just keep that up.
I'm sure people have.
I'm sure people do.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot. Well, it's like it's either on one side of the fence, the middle of the fence, or on the other side. Like some people won't even go pee in the water. Some people only pee in the water.
Like, come on now, it's the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, if you go piss in the ocean, everybody pisses in the ocean.
Yeah, I love when people go like they get up and it's their first time in the water. And it's like this is prime pissing hours. Like they go in for a minute and a half and get out. It's like everybody knows you just pissed in the pool.
Everybody on this beach knows what you just did, friend.
And then
everybody knows what you did.
And then there's the one person that goes, "Oh no, you didn't." You have no clue.
You don't know what
stays out there for 45 minutes with this pensive look on their face.
Oh, God. I want to test something out because I was looking at this microphone. Can you read what that says at the top one?
Echo.
I want to test it out. I want to see what happens.
Yeah, turn it up.
Does it sound different?
It sounds like less echoey.
Less echoey?
No, never mind.
This is better?
No, this is worse. This is way worse. That's why I didn't have a question for JD very early on because I was looking at high fidelity music on Zoom and how to adjust the audio levels for tomorrow to see if we can, make it. Because you do have a microphone, I just don't know what the settings should be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is Max's mic from his gaming setup. I stole it before I left.
Did you bring his computer too?
No, I didn't bring the PC. I just have my laptop.
How are you going to game on the beach?
Yeah, you should bring
the webcam.
You should bring the whole rig to the beach with the Starlink and then just play video games. Like one day a kid's going to do that. Just bring his Xbox to the beach and it's like this is
under like a giant black parasol, like a little Victorian boy.
Yes, and
you're just gaming away,
drinking energy drinks. Like, you're just basically at home.
Only stopping to poop in the water.
Yeah, then you do poop in the water.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Sure is.
I don't even know if I want to go into the ocean anymore. After
I
this
didn't go
conversation.
in. I didn't go in once in my whole beach vacation
Oh,
in northern Omaha. I just did.
Are you serious?
It's gross to me.
Yeah, it's gross to me too. I don't really get in. I won't even go. I actually don't really even pee in the ocean. Like, I'll go back upstairs.
I love the ocean.
Yeah, see.
Are you a pool guy? Like, are you on the beach or do you go to the pool?
I'm on the beach. I love the beach.
Okay,
I like
good.
the beach.
Good,
I like being
good.
near
But you're
the
just not
water.
in the water.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
It's like
but
jellyfish
then I
in there
love
and
to.
stuff.
I like to go like dip in the pool. Like, that water just seems a little. It's not as. It feels a little murky, and I know what people are doing. I know people pee in the pool too, but it's just the. I don't know the salinity of it all. Like, it makes my skin feel weird.
I do not pee.
Well, it's got healing powers. The salt water does. If you get in it, your cuts and your scrapes will be healed.
Oh, well then, I'll try that next time.
Because you've got all these random scratches and bruises all over your body.
They're not random.
Dude,
they're ceremonial.
Bruise you have on your hip is the biggest bruise I've ever seen in my life.
I fancy myself quite the athlete when it comes to walking on the party box while it's moving. I got.
You did. You caught one.
Then I got
That's
again by 240 pounds of man meat.
You had to get put in your place. I'm sorry. I do love you, Lloyd, but it was just too confident.
It was a fair fight until it wasn't. I was fighting up in weight class.
You were. Yeah, well, you the whole entire week you were fighting down in your weight class.
That was just fun.
Yeah, that's just enjoyable.
But he'll be able to get me if we're still doing this in 5 years. I'll be God knows how old, and he'll be maybe he'll get up to 100 pounds, and he'll have this opportunity. But for now, still middle dog.
There you go. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody joining us. Lloyd, Jonathan, thank you, fellas, for holding it down back home.
Have fun out there, buddy.
I will. I'm going to go use the bathroom in the ocean.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Live stream. Literally a live stream.
Literally a live stream in the ocean.
All right, boys. Love y'all.
All right.
All right, guys.
We'll see y'all
Thank you,
again tomorrow.
Noah. Thank you for always making time for us. I know you don't have to.
Of course. I actually do have to.
Yes,
but
you do.
Put on sunscreen.
Yeah, don't put on sunscreen. It's bad for you. It's bad for you. It's bad for you.
I'm not putting sunscreen on.
No sunscreen.
Skin cancer. Have fun, guys.
Yeah.